start to build, where there's no longer going to be an American the way it is now. You're going to see those good teams being incorporated or assimilated into other bigger conferences. That the Boise States that are out there are going to start moving into football-only conferences because they want more television money.
Sure, absolutely, and I think that when we think about what is coming ahead, there are things that can be maybe done now for Boise State to keep Brian Carson happy, to keep the program moving forward. It is some of that capital project stuff. So when we truly talk about the future, it is something like that you're referring to. I don't think personally there's going to be conference movement really soon, but soon-ish. Once, as you mentioned, these TV contracts start coming up again, or the CFP contracts, everything like that, that is really when the movement may happen. So that's a couple of years down the road.
Sure.
And I do wonder if Boise State is sitting there going like, well, we got to position ourselves in the best way possible to maybe be a part of that. I definitely think that's in the back of their mind. Because as you said, that's the number one driver. And I think that there could be, who knows what there could be. Like you said, these football-only conferences, there could be something like that. There could be something really unique to just truly capitalize on all this stuff. But that remains to be seen. And we've seen that, the fact that they're playing at all this week is the TV money is so desperate.
They're driving. It's driving.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, one quick final thought here, Dave, and we'll let you get back to the Colorado game. And I will point out that since you came on with us, things have taken a turn for the better with a
goal line stand, my man.
Goal line stand, yeah. So Brian Harsin vents to his boss. My question for you is, if Brian Harsin gets to some kind of critical mass and feels that it's an untenable situation, what are his options? It doesn't seem like he has any kind of real presence like east of the Mississippi, which means you're looking at Pac-12 jobs, and in order to have it be an upgrade, what are Brian Harsin's options?
Right, and that's another thing that I feel that column could have written it twice as long, because then there could still be another column, who knows, about what future Brian Harsin. If he feels that things have stagnated and he doesn't feel like things are changing, go replacing athletic director, maybe getting someone else in there, that can spark something in Brian Harsin. And it's a bit of a gambit on his part. Just now it's out there. The cards are on the table that he's not happy. So the fact that either Boise State does things to appease him, or they're going to lose him, and he's going to have to look, or want to look elsewhere. Arizona, that job might be open. Of course, you're going to hear his name with that one.
Yeah.
Guarantee you're going to hear his name with that one. But you guys are right that outside of a couple Big 12 or Pac-12 jobs, Brian Harsin pretty much has made his bones out west, and it would be a challenge to go anywhere else. And there's been interest from places east of Mississippi that, whether they weren't 100% interested or he wasn't interested, just never really came to fruition. I think that he's kind of a guy that his options in a way are limited, not because he's a bad coach. I just think that
exactly. I'm not trying to make this necessarily negative on Brian Harsin, but the Texas situation, given a couple of years down there and closest with Mac Brown, that's popped out. But Texas wants to swing a lot bigger than that. Texas wants Urban Meyer, so I don't think.
And I know this: if this is going to affect the hire coming in for athletic director, if Boise State wants to keep Brian Harsin, you better bring in an athletic director that sees eye to eye with your head football coach, or that marriage isn't going to work.
I think it showed in those emails that even when a new AD comes in, the most powerful man in that athletic department is going to be Brian Harsin.
Yes.
And whoever that hire is, they have to have a similar vision, and I guarantee that's going to be a part of the process. And I mentioned a little bit in there, in that column, that's going to be a big thing. That AD has to either have a vision for the future to be another conference, or something really interesting in the Mountain West that's going to keep everyone happy.
All right, Dave, good stuff. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your game.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All
right, Dave Southern of the Idaho Statesman.
Love that guy.
Let's shift over and bring in another guy that we love around here, Tom Scott. Tom's been around for a time or two, a bit of a while. Let's put it kindly. Tom's a legend around here. We appreciate his Scott slants each and every week on the Bronco Game Day program. This time around, Tom goes inside the numbers.
This is the Scott Slant with Tom Scott on Bronco Game Day.
Presented by Maztec Automotive, helping Boise vehicles thrive since 1985. Inside the numbers, the theme today for Boise State would be run and stop the run. If George Halani is back, as the coaching staff indicates he will be, that will be huge for the Broncos offense. Halani had exactly 100 yards in the season opener in October before being injured on Halloween at Air Force. His longest run versus Utah State was 34 yards, exactly twice that of Andrew Van Buren's longest jaunt this season. That's the stretch the field ability that can change the dynamic for the Broncos. More in a moment. Maztec reminds you, when it's cold out there, it's hard on your car. Simple maintenance now costs a ton less than major repairs later on if you let it go. Things like oil, lube, and filter, wheel alignment, and your battery. Maztec has ASC certified technicians who can help make your vehicle last. That's what we want. See Maztec Automotive, 33rd and State. Considering the rust Boise State will be shaking off today, there may be a missed tackle or three. Consequently, the Broncos can't hope to stop the vaunted Wyoming rushing attack, only contain it. All Mountain West running back Xavier Valladay is slated to return for the Cowboys today. Without Valladay, the Pokes got 154 yards last week from Trey Smith. If the Broncos can at least run as well as Wyoming today, their passing game can be the difference. I'm Tom Scott for Bronco Game Day on News Talk 670 KBOI and Sports Radio 93.1 FM, The Ticket.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Coming up next, we get Rick's crystal ball and get his keys to the game. Is it run the ball and stop the run? Is it get off the field? Is it outscore a team that might have put up a bunch of points against your defense that couldn't tackle against Hawaii? We'll find out here shortly. Also want to tell you there's another game, another cancellation from the Pac-12. Pac-12 has canceled the California at Washington State football game scheduled for tonight. So that one, another one bites the dust, as it were. All right, and we've got our final segment of Bronco Game Day coming up in just a moment here on 670 KBOI and Sports Radio 93.1 FM, The Ticket.
A legend is coming up. Boise State Athletic Hall of Famer Paul J. Schneider joins the crew for predictions and keys to the game. This is Bronco Game Day with Dave Harbison and Rick Worthing.